Hey guys, welcome to another NRL Fantasy Fanatics episode. Unfortunately today, Callan Jensen cannot join us as he has a sickness, and we'll be joined by our special guest Will Garati. So how you going,
Yeah,
Will?
hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me here today. Yeah, obviously a shame Cal can't be with us, but yeah, looking forward to getting into the team list analysis of today.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on this Knights side from the first team list that we've all been waiting for months?
Oh well, yeah, obviously it's good to have footy back and yeah, best time of the year. But yeah, looking at the Knights side, Callum Pong is probably the only player I'd really look at. Obviously Dalian of the year. Yeah, he is expensive, but owned by 19% of players, like you can't go wrong with Kalen really. So yeah, he's probably the only person I'd be looking at.
And I'd say going into the season, it's probably the least riskiest wing fullback. Like
Yeah,
there's risk with all of them that you look at the gun ones, like Latrell, even though he fired, still risk with him. Still
yeah.
risk with Drinkwater and all of them.
Walsh, yeah. Pappenhausen,
Maybe
definitely.
maybe even look at Greg Marzu, like had a really good season last year. And
Yeah.
price at
I mean,
734, he could be all right, but I
he
think
is pretty
too
expensive
expensive.
though, isn't he?
Yeah, 730, too expensive.
Yeah. No, I'd take Kalen's the only person I'd look at.
And now on the other side of the ball, this side I'm a bit more interested in. Ethan Strange at 6 and
Yeah, well,
Zach
yeah,
Hosking at 12 are two I'm really big on this year.
yeah, well, if you're looking at Strange, and especially if you're someone that's gone for Fogarty, now I selected Fogarty, but I think Strange will definitely like he'll take a bit of the kicking off him and he'll do like they'll still be more of a shared role. Whereas if Strange is playing like centers or wherever else he's going to play, like Fogarty would be doing all the kicking and be converting, he'd be like the main half and he'd
Yeah,
be
because
yeah he's probably gonna
Taylor
average
Weeks
close to
isn't really
50.
much of a kicker. And
Yeah, exactly.
Ethan Strange can convert too because he converted in the trials.
Yeah,
So I feel like there's too much risk with Jamal now and too much upside with Strange not to go off him,
yeah, exactly. And like
especially with that duel.
I'll have a look now, but if you did select Jamal, like. Other options in that position around what 650K for the halves.
Hannah Boyd,
Yeah.
downgrade to Drew Hutchinson.
There's I mean you'd stay away from Burden definitely. There's yeah, there's Tanner Boyd who you could look at. Yeah, or downgrade to Hutchinson. And apart from that, really they're the only options. But no, I'm still gonna take the gamble and Fogarty myself and I think he'll still average close to 50. So yeah, it's worth a gamble.
So a guy that is right now has come into my team in this recent uh hour, Zach Hoskins. He's got the 12th position, no Elliot Whitehead there, and we all know what he can do when he has the 12th position. He burnt me
Yeah.
last year not having him. I'm going to start with him early. 584k. I
Zach
think he's an
Hosking is a
absolute.
very good option, and yeah, you can't go wrong with Hosking. He'll average like you saw what he did at the Panthers.
He
Obviously,
was
in a
like
really strong side.
750k last year.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, in a very strong side at at Penrith, like being at
And
the Raiders.
in the 2022 Broncos, like that was a terrible season for them, and he
Yeah,
still averaged
exactly,
60.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, he'll definitely average above 50, I reckon.
So I think
And yeah,
you
pick
look at
Hosking
him
again.
and yeah, Ethan Strange and Zach Hosking. And
Um, what are your
interesting
thoughts
one
on
is,
Savage?
oh, I wouldn't go with Savage, but another wing fullback I would go with 498k Jordan Rapana.
Yeah,
What are your
yeah, yeah.
thoughts?
Oh, I'm not too big on Rapana myself. Like. Yeah, he used to he's already peaked, He had his good seasons a few years ago, but no, I just don't really see much like he's very relevant when it comes to fantasy, so I'm gonna stay away from him.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so on to the next game. Warriors Sharks. Um, what do you got here?
Well, Tane to a picky, he's coming in at like is it 260K, something around there.
388k.
Is it 388?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he's a little bit more expensive, but no, I still do think it's worth I picked him up myself and I think he'll well is tomorrow Martin is he like what's the go with him at the moment?
He's on the emergencies.
Yeah, okay. So he's not injured, he's not suspended, so they haven't selected him. I
Out
think
of favour.
Tuapiki, if he's in good form and he plays well, I think he could hold that starting spot. So I reckon it's
Well, it's
worth.
because Chance Nickel Cookstad's injured for 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think to a pick he maybe has like 50 to 100K to make. So I reckon he's worth it.
And again, someone I've gone very hot on in the last hour, Tohu Harris, absolute pod. 2.5% of people own him or something. And
Yeah, and
just look at that bench. Where
yeah,
he's got 65 minutes written all over him.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Toby Harris is someone you can definitely look at as a
It'd
pod.
be a premium, but on the other side of the ball, Cameron McInnes at 13, that's massive.
I mean, I feel like yeah, Harris might have like 65 minutes like written all over him, but he's not. I don't think he really has the ability like Payne Haas and Isaiah Yo, like
I
a
mean, he's a bit
horse
older
grump
than he
to
was a
go
couple of
big,
years ago.
right? Like, no, I think yeah, he might average you around 50, but he's not. He doesn't have those big scores in him like the 70 plus ones.
Yeah,
He might his high score will probably be 65.
very consistent.
At the very max.
Yeah. But on the other side of the ball, Cameron McInnes, he's gotten the
Yeah.
13 spot that we wanted him to get.
It's just with Dale Finucane being on the bench and they're the shared captaincy role. Is it shared, right? Or was it
Yeah,
just McInnes?
shared.
Yeah, so I think
And
where Finucane comes in to play on prop, he comes in for Kafusi or Hunt.
with that, but they got a 4 forward bench there. So that's where I see and no edges there, 4 middles. So
Yeah. I think
that's where,
McInnes should play at least 60 minutes, I reckon.
yeah, which means he has monster value on him. But
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's too risky to take.
He is
Because
pretty expensive as well.
he could come out, play 45 minutes, and Dale plays 50.
Is he a pod? McInnes?
Yeah,
Is
massive.
he?
1% or something.
Yeah, I mean, no, I see it. I reckon he's
2%.
worth it. I'm gonna stay away from him, but I think he's definitely that good option. Yeah.
Yeah, and out of this side, I'd pretty much stay away from everyone else. And there's
Yeah.
maybe not Nico Hines, but no, I'd stay away from everyone else.
Yeah.
So on to the next one, the round, the game of the round.
Yeah.
Storm, Panthers. We got a cash cow, Joe Chan. What do you know about him?
Yeah. Oh well, I haven't actually looked into Joe Chan too much, and it's interesting with the Storm because every year they seem to have like they've got different edges that are coming in. Like we thought Jack Howarth might have played 3 years ago, right? And then they just brought in what Trent Liero and Katoa. Obviously, Liero's moved to the lock position, but
And they brought in
I thought
Sean Bloor, and he's on
yeah,
the
I know, yeah, I thought
emergencies.
Sean Bloor would be playing, but obviously not. So it's interesting with the Storm, but no, I think I'm probably going to stay away from Joe Chan. Like you still know what the situation with Liero and Sean Bloor is going to be, so I just think he's an avoid.
But I just don't think at 260 you can get because look at that bench. Christian Welch is the prop. Chris
Yeah,
Lewis, he can play a little bit of edge, but
I think Alec
even with
McDonald can play a bit of edge as well, can't he?
but even with 60 minutes, they're still you still
Yeah,
got Joe Chan making
he's still
getting
got
35 points.
yeah, he's still got 50 to 100K to make at least. So I think
Yeah,
you can go with him. Obviously the Storm and like their Storm record, is like the last 5 seasons or something. I don't know, maybe more than that. They haven't lost around one match. So obviously the
yeah.
Storm are going to come out firing and they're going to test this Penrith team. It'll probably be a pretty good match. But um, Pappenhausen owned by 40% of players, underpriced gun. Make sure he's almost a must-have.
But what are your thoughts on not anti-potting him at the start of the season? Because you think about it, he's had 2 terrible injuries, and it's
Yeah.
half draw too, not goal kicking. What do you think?
Well, is he not goal kicking?
Nah, Nick
Pappenhausen.
Meaney's got the goal kicking.
Really? Well, I don't know. I just think he's too cheap to avoid. Like I
Yeah,
don't,
especially for someone of
despite like the
his
injuries and
like
him being like
his
injury
name.
prone, he's still a good option, I reckon. And like
Yeah,
must have underpriced gun.
and in my eyes, there's only one hooker you're going with, Harry Grant,
Yeah,
as captain too.
yeah,
I just think he's a slam dunk.
yeah. You have to get Harry Grant really.
Yeah. So now
Um, yeah, on the Panthers side,
Taylor and May, someone I'm really big on.
yeah, I picked him up today, Taylor May. I think he'll obviously he's in, this is like one of the best teams in it, like of this modern era, right? Like you can't really go wrong with Taylor May playing in that Penrith back line. So I
And you
think
looked at all their backs have been guns. You had Stephen
yeah,
Crichton in that spot, and he was 600K. You've got
even
Tungo.
Tyrone Peachy came in and he was pretty good.
Yeah, and you had Zach Hoskin play there for a bit, and I looked at his stats. He got 50 and a 33 playing a centre, and he's on a centre.
Yeah, and Isaac Tongo, he came in as a rookie and he's almost like a recognized gun now.
And
Um,
Taylor and May, that year that I got him in
yeah,
2022, he was an absolute weapon.
exactly. And he was on the wing then as well. So in the center, he's gonna have more ball and he'll be
More
involved
tackles,
more.
yeah, more base.
Yeah,
Nathan
exactly.
Cleary is he just
Yeah,
your set and forget captain.
Oh, another thing with Talon May, he is a bit expensive. He comes in at 600K, but I mean, I think he's definitely a part of the centers. He's only owned by like 1% of players, not even that maybe. And
He's got that duel too.
yeah, he's got the duel, and everyone's going cheap in the centers. So if you want to spend up on the centers, I think Talon May's a great option.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
is Nathan Cleary just a set and forget
yeah,
captain?
he's a must-have. I don't see why you pick Nico Hines over him. Like Nathan Cleary's the best player in the game. Like that's
Yeah.
just yeah,
And Isaiah Yo, if you got the money, just plug him in there. He'll get you
yeah,
60s, 70s.
yeah,
Like, but I wouldn't put him over Payne Haas or Cam
yeah.
Murray yet. So, Eels Bulldogs. I mean, let me talk about my favourite player, the Gufferino. I mean, I love him. And he's been in and out of my side today just because of my obsession with him. But
Yeah,
I just don't think you can do it. Like, too inconsistent. Way too inconsistent.
exactly. I'll
Especially,
put all obsessions aside, right? Like Gutho, he might come out. He is capable of those 70+ scores, but the Eels really have to put in a clinic and carve up for that
yeah.
to happen. Like,
And especially with Moses and Brown there, they do too much for Guffo to star by himself.
yeah, exactly.
Like, if this team list was without Brown and Moses, I'd consider it 100%.
Yeah, I think Simonson's definitely in the void now.
Oh yeah,
Now he's on the
100%
wing.
now on the wing, just ruining everything.
Penasini, he's
He's a must-have.
Penasini's a must-have. You reckon?
Or well, like not a must-have, but he'll be top 3 centers. Like
Yeah, I mean
if you
he
want to,
is inconsistent like Gutho, but he can get those big scores for you. So yeah, he's a bit expensive though.
yeah, I'd say you just leave Joey and Brennan Hands through to the keeper,
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. That because they're
splitting
um.
minutes.
I listened to something and it was like, oh yeah, Brad Arthur seems to have something against NRL fantasy because he always selects like, he never selects a hooker that coaches are gonna want to pick up. Like they got Joey Lussick, but they selected Hands as well, so they're gonna have a shared role now, and they're probably both only gonna come out and get 30 odds.
If that,
Yeah, if that exactly.
because none of them
So
are PPM beasts either.
yeah, and oh
Sean
yeah,
Lane,
Mitch Moses,
Sean Lane,
he's a buy.
he's a comfortable avoid. Sean Lane with Kelma Tuolangi there.
And Madison, he can play on the edge a bit.
Yeah, and Sam Hopgood can play there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of Lane. I reckon he's an avoid.
Yeah, and then going on the dog side of the ball, a guy again right on my team right now as a pod in my team from today, Jacob Carraz at centre. Just, I think the side he's on is too hard not to have him with Carraz, Blake Wilson, who looks like a gun. I think
Yeah.
he'll be partnered by Matt Burton and Viliami Kikau
Yeah.
on their side, which
I mean, I'm not sure about Carraz really, like, because he's going to play on that right edge, so he's going to be playing on the same side as Hutchinson, and I think they're going to go predominantly to Burden. They're definitely going to go out to the left edge where you got Burden, you've got Stephen Crichton, you've also got Kickout on that left edge. Like they're definitely going to go to the left edge over what Kiraz, Hutchinson, and Jacob Preston. Like that left edge is dominant. Like that's probably one of the best left edges in the game at the moment. So I think they're definitely going to go to that side more. Like, what do you think?
I mean, he's got a dual position and he averages 50 odd in the centres.
Yeah. Well, he's not playing in the centers, Drew Hutchinson, though. He's playing.
No, I'm talking
Well,
about Jacob Carraz.
oh yeah, sorry, yeah, no, yeah, you're talking
Yeah,
about Carraz, yeah,
but with Drew, I mean, he averages 40 odd at 7, and he's got 100 in his game. I feel like he's
yeah,
a very, very good defender too. So
yeah.
like, even in the games they get whacked, he'll probably still get 30s.
How expensive is he?
400k.
Yeah. I mean, Hutchinson, if you want to downgrade from a Fogarty, if you're not big on Fogarty, then yeah, he's a good option. But I'm not too big on Carraz myself, just with that Bulldogs left edge, probably the best left edge in the game, on paper at least. Stephen Crichton, Matt Burden, and Viliami Kikau. All
Yeah,
Penrith. Oh no,
and Josh
yeah,
Adokar.
all Penrith. Born. Sorry?
And Josh Adokar too.
Yeah.
And then the gutted dog, Jermaine Salmon, 13.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he's 296k, absolute must have in my
I
opinion.
think
Like,
he's a must-have. Yeah, like
there's
you
no way
look
you
at the
can't.
bench and they got like Curran who can probably come into that middle role,
But he'll probably
take a
play
few minutes
props
off him.
because I don't see
Yeah,
Pawasa plus Musili playing big
yeah.
minutes.
Well, I mean, Kurt Mann is probably going to take a few of his minutes off, and there's some with you he plays prop, but Kurt Mann will probably take a few minutes off him, but he's probably still going to play like 40 minutes, I reckon, at the least. So yeah,
No, I
I don't
think
see why you
he's
wouldn't get him.
pretty comfortable for 60, and because Kurt will have to stint Reed. I don't see Reed playing 80 this season.
Yeah,
But on to the next one. So Dragons and Titans.
yeah,
Keeney gets the spot. And
yeah,
to be completely honest with you, Keeney's the only one I'd ever look at in this side.
yeah. Jaden Campbell's not playing. He's out for 6 weeks, isn't he? So
4 to 6, yeah. So that's
yeah,
how long Keeney's got,
Kenny's
and he'll
going to
make money.
be. I see he's almost a must-have, cheapy, really.
Yeah, and Keenan Palacia, please, please, please do not touch him, no matter what you do.
Yeah, because
Has
they
never
got
been fantasy
Isaac
relevant.
Liu, they've got Aaron Clark. They're all going to take minutes off him. So
And
in
Tino
that
could
in that
even move
middle
to 13.
rotation,
Same with Chris Randall.
yeah. Um, no, I don't see anyone else really to buy. Look at in these sides or in the Titans side apart from Kenny, really.
I mean, on the Dragon side of the ball, you got someone I'm big on who's in my side right now, Moses Suli. Like, it's a gamble. He looked
Yeah, it
very good in
is.
that trial. He's massive.
Exactly. Like he gets those tackle busts. Obviously, the Dragons aren't too great of a side, definitely not on paper at least anyway. But
And he's
yeah,
playing next
Sully's
to
probably the only guy I'd look at in that team, and obviously Flanagan as well, starting half,
and
very
Jack
cheap.
DeBellin because that's not a massive bench. Like, he could get 65, 60 minutes.
Yeah,
And someone I've had in my side again today is Connor Muhellens. How do you say
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
Or whatever his name is. But because Jacob Little's been injured, like had an injury, and I need a hooker there. And I'm thinking to myself, I'd prefer to get 25, 20 from a hooker on that Harry Grant buy than waste a trade and get a hooker that won't be a keeper.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean,
Look,
Jack DeBellin, I don't really see like how there's much room for him really. Like,
yeah,
I just don't see you can have room for him in your side when there's Payne Haas, Isaiah Yates like their room.
yeah, I know. Cam Murray too.
Yeah,
Last game of the round, Dolphins, Cowboys. On the Dolphins side of the ball again, only really looking at Jeremy Marshall King, maybe playing 80 minutes,
yeah,
and Jack Bostock at 307k as a cash cow. But
yeah.
I'd say Hamaso is quite frankly a trap to me.
Same with Farmworth, I reckon. I mean, well, Farmworth, I don't say he's a trap, but I think he's an avoid.
I mean, Farnworth won't score, like, he might score your 40s, but he's losing money on those 40s, and
Yeah,
I
he's
just
pretty
don't
expensive as
see,
well.
I just don't see that, like, him replicating what he did at the Broncos.
Yeah, in a new side. I mean, Flegler was like, I know a lot of people like are considering Flegler, but yeah, he might. I don't think he's really. You can't really consider him like the first choice prop at that club at the moment because although yeah, he's probably better than Jesse Bromwich. Jesse Bromwich is the captain, so he's probably
Especially
gonna
with
play
a
more
four
minutes.
forward bench too, because like
Yeah,
where are they playing Max Plaff?
I have no idea.
Because he's in the 15 jersey, but like, and that's usually not the hooker jersey, but Josh Kerr's not playing hooker.
Yeah,
Yeah, interesting. But on the other side of the ball, this one has a lot to say. So again, Scott Drinkwater's been in and out of my side today.
yeah,
I think I just look at it like, can he replicate last year?
yeah. I mean, who knows really? Like, I think he's someone like a Teddy who you don't really start with Teddy, but you can pick him up like a bit later, maybe
Yeah.
like round five. It's either you pick him up sort of round five, round six, or you pick him up after the Origin period. And I think Drinkwater's the same as that because he looks like he's definitely going to be in the Blues squad for Origin.
And then you might call me a psycho here, but this year, my love interest again, Jason Tamalolo.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it this year, like 468k with,
yeah. I mean, no, Tamalo he's a gun. He's won the Dally M medal before. I just don't think he has the minutes in him anymore.
but
Like,
like if he gets 50, I can still see him cranking out a 40 and making you 150k.
yeah.
Because I
I
don't see
mean,
like, yeah, Benayahi, he's a edge who was still Lukey, so that's really two forwards there.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think Tamalolo is probably an avoid. He is pretty cheap though, right? But I still think he's an avoid.
And Lukey,
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lukey. he's obviously a good replacement for Sean Lane if you have him in your team. Like we're not real big on him. Also like 150k cheaper, so that gives you an extra 150k in the bank. If you get Lukey, starting edge for the Cowboys. Obviously, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that name, but number 17 for the Cowboys. Um, yeah, he plays in the edge, so he might take a few of Lukey's minutes, but I still think he's gonna play, 50 to 60 minutes a game, average around that 50 mark. And yeah, I
Yeah,
think
and
Lukey's a decent
Ruben
option.
Cotter as captain, I just
Yeah,
see not like 60 minutes for him at least, and
yeah.
he'll get you at least a 50 average.
So yeah, the only people in that team that you might look at is I don't think Drinkwater you'd look at. I think so. I'd say it's just really Lukey. Obviously, Robson's a good option,
And
but Harry Grant,
if you
like,
want a risky play that, like if you're just
yeah,
in that mood and you're like, get Jason Tamalolo.
yeah.
If you want a risky
But
play.
Cotter and Lukey are pretty safe. Who you look at in
Yeah.
that team.
So now to my team.
Yeah.
So look, not the best of starts for me, but I've only had 5 players play.
Well, honestly,
Six.
like you got Brendan Pickera there. He cancels out. Like, don't even count him. Like every good side, like
Yeah.
every good coach has
47.8%
picked him.
owned.
So it almost like he cancels out. Really, like it doesn't really
But
matter.
so this is my full side. 6K left. What are your thoughts on it?
Um, yeah, I think it has pretty good depth. Like you've obviously got Oh yeah, you did pick Taylor Mann, the wing fullback, but you got Jermaine Salmon there on the bench. You've got Ruben Cotter. Um, yeah, you've got. I mean, I guess you are a bit weak there in the center position, but so is everyone else. Like no one's really,
But
no one's spending big on the centers.
my big plan is when Keeney, because I've only got these two because of the buy. So when Keeney's finished his buy, I'm just going to chuck one of these in the centers and then
Yeah,
start Keeney.
yeah. What's Zach Hosking owned by?
1% of people.
Yeah, he's a very good option, very good pod. I rate that.
Yeah.
And I'm not too big on Chan, but apart from him, everyone else looks pretty
I
solid.
mean,
Looks like a pretty solid squad.
he's only here because he's playing, and I'm like, I got I got like pretty much 7 players here that's going to make me money, so I can afford to
Yeah,
have one kind of like cash down player that if
yeah,
he gets dropped, I can use them as a looper every week.
yeah,
Yeah. So now it's on to talking about a few people. So I got a mind Zach Hoskin. Um, that's his name. Yeah. So Zach Hosking. I just look at him at second row. Just has an average of 50.2 and 68.7, but that includes if you put him minutes over 60, he averages 55.8 with a break
yeah,
even of 42. So that's 14 points of value there with 94s, 71s. Like he's only ever scored 2 tries also.
yeah. Nah, Hosking, yeah, he's definitely a very good option.
Yeah, it's just a no-brainer to me, to be
And
honest.
he's a pod as well. He is
Yeah,
like he's not that expensive either. He's only like 580k or something, right?
584k. Yeah. So
Yeah.
now on to Taylor and May. So he averages 43.6 as his career average with a break even of 44.
Yeah. We'll
So
go
you
to
don't see
center
it.
stats if you go to centers.
Oh, he has never played a game in
Yeah, he's
centers.
played winger the whole time. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but he
Well,
played that one game in the trials and scored 52 all from base.
yeah,
And we know like he loves to run the ball, 160 meters gained.
yeah,
Like I think you look at that though, 0.8 tries, 0.9 line breaks, or 1 line break a game. Do you
yeah.
think he keeps that stats up though?
I mean, does he have the ability to tackle bust? Like, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
he averages 5 tackle busts a game with
yeah.
some
No,
games with
I
like
think
10, 9, 8.
yeah. No, I reckon Taylor May's a very good option.
Yeah, and then last one I want to have a chat about is Jacob Carraz. So I know like I'm big on him this year.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
mean, no, Carraz, like, if you look at
I look at
last
his
year, you know
stats.
how, oh yeah,
Him
you know
at
how
center.
last year, right? How the Daily M thing, like they show the votes for the first 5 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it is. He he was, I'm pretty sure he's even leading it at some stage, and that just shows, like, I know Daily M leaderboard doesn't have much to do with it, but it still shows that he's becoming a recognized guy of the game, and he's still very
Yeah.
young.
But you got 47.3 average at center with a
Yeah,
break even of 40. So that's at least 7 points of value. And I mean, the dog sucked. He's got
Yeah.
he's got a 65 in there when they lost by 20 to the Broncos. He's got a
Yeah.
43 in there when they lost 44-18 to the Panthers. He's got a 38 in there when they lost 42-6 to the Knights. A
Yeah.
38 in there when they lost 36-24. And a 48 in there when they lost 34-14 to the Broncos. So
Yeah.
I just feel like, especially with that dual position, it's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
He's not too bad.
now to take a look at your side.
Yeah.
So you got Harry Grant, who's a very, very safe option. I'd really just say here, like, I don't know about Sam Fainu. I just don't think like he'll
I
play.
mean,
And
I'm just picking like someone from the Tigers who's likely to play, so I can use him as a looper. But yeah, do you reckon he'll play?
no, I would go with Galvin because that's who I got, and he
Is he
looked
gonna
good at that
play?
14 spot.
Yeah.
And then I can't really pick too much holes in this team. Like would say that like Chevy Stewart won't play, so you've kind of
Yeah.
got
Well,
two
I'll
players.
just wait till the because the green lights aren't up yet, so I'll just wait till that comes out
Yeah,
and then I'll pick
it's
someone.
pissing me
But
off, isn't it?
yeah.
But I mean, your obsession with Walsh is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, obviously, like massive Broncos fan, so it's a bit biased there, but he does provide that X factor, and going to like nearly every game, watching it like in person, he's a pretty exciting player to watch, and I mean, his ownership is quite high, but I'm not going. I
But
find it hard not to pick Walsh on my side.
not really many pods here.
Yeah, I mean, you can call Fogarty. He's pretty close to a pod, like 12% owned. Like it's pretty close. If he goes big, like I'm gonna gain a lot of ranks. Who else is there? Go back to the team. Taylor
Also,
May's a pod.
yeah, Taylor May.
And then there's also Lukey's close enough to a pod. Is Tua Picky? Is he a pod?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But nah, I've gone a bit safer, like
yeah, Tuapiki 1.7% and Lukey
12 point something.
12.9%.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is good. Like in fantasy, obviously, there's a lot of prizes available up for grabs if you come like that top 10, top 5, whatever it is. But so, and the only way to really like do well in fantasy is by picking a lot of pods and taking gambles. Because if you just select a safe sort of team, you like I don't know, it's not as safe. And yeah, you might just
You'll just fall back with the pack, pretty much.
exactly, you might be top 10,000, but yeah, I think selecting pods, like I guess it can be risky because you might be ranked 100,000 after the first week, you might be ranked top 1,000.
Yeah. So we got one more segment to do here. Pods with bods. So first pod with a bod. Clint Gufferson. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a career average at fullback of 42.9. But something that really stood out to me was you look at him last year without Dylan Brown.
yeah,
Then yeah, you put him at 2023 without so 2023 average was 45.7.
yeah.
But look at those games when Dylan Brown was suspended, just like 71, 74, 57, 43, 75, 33, 50. Like I just
Dylan
think,
Brown is playing at the moment though.
yeah, so that's why I wouldn't go with him,
Yeah,
even though like he's a pod and he doesn't have the goal kicking either.
I feel like he's just a bit too expensive though.
Yeah, definitely. Our second player on pods with a bod is Jeremy Marshall King, owned by 4% of teams. 2023 was a terrible season for him injury wise. Still
Yeah,
averaged 47.3, and when playing over 60 minutes, 51.3. I just feel like this it's just like too much 60s, 30s, 60,
yeah.
30, 60, 30. Like
But how expensive is he?
650K with a break even of 47 and an average of 51 when playing 80 minutes pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't see why you wouldn't pick Harry Grant. So I think he's an avoid.
Or like as your backup hooker too. Replace Harry Grant when
Yeah, he's buying like round 4 or something.
yeah. So we've already spoken about this guy, but Zach Hoskins again, a pod for bod, 1% owned. What would you have to say about him?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely pick up Hosking if you want to go for the pod and the risky. Well, he's not even a risky play though. Like it's
Yeah,
Zach
like
Hosking.
I mean, he's got a 43.7 career average, but that's with like games of
Yeah,
16, games of 13.
yeah.
So
Go to Zach Labor. I don't think I don't think
yeah,
he's too bad of an option.
another pod with a bod,
He is a bit expensive
0.62%.
though.
You look at this at center, like 32,
16 in there, but then he's
62, 38.
yeah. Nah, actually no. I go back, take my word back on that. He's a bit too expensive and he's been inconsistent. So I think
Yeah,
he's
way too
avoided.
expensive. I wouldn't look at him. And
Yeah,
the last pod with a bod, I don't really know if you call him a pod with a bod because he's not really a pod. But Nicholas Hines, he's owned by
no,
16%
he
of
counts
people.
as a pot. 16% ownership, but it's Nico Hines. The other 60% of players or whatever it is in the game have selected Cleary. So if Nico Hines comes out and has a big game and Cleary doesn't has a quiet game, like
Yeah,
your ranks will be up there.
he counts as it just because of the captain factor. Like last year, he averaged 73.9. And is there an argument to start with both Cleary and Hines in your team?
Well, I mean, if you start with Cleary and Hines, it means you're gonna be lacking depth or strength in other positions. So I feel like it's just one or the other to start the season.
But we very much saw in his games like 37 against the Dolphins and a 34 against the Panthers. Like in
Yeah.
game, and they got around 5 buys. So like in games they don't go well on, he really struggles. And I wasn't impressed with how he played last year though. So for him to still average 74 with playing bad, it's a bit
Yeah.
like. But he does lose kicking meters to Braden Trindle a bit too.
Well, I mean, the fact that he's not captain and well, he wasn't. He was never captain, was he? Never mind. No.
I don't think so.
When
Yeah,
he-
but
yeah, he was never the captain. Never mind.
like yeah. So the only thing that I wouldn't like go with him for is because of that. Like he's losing the kick meters, and Nathan Cleary is just Nathan Cleary. And
Yeah.
let's finish it off on a high. Let's talk about the great man. 54.8% owned, and my favorite player in the whole game.
Yeah.
Let's look at him last year. Yes, Nicholas averaged more than him, but when you put him playing over 60 minutes, he averaged 76 points. With
Yeah. Exactly.
what I
I
consider
mean,
his worst game I've ever seen him play against the Rabbitohs with 37 and a 51 in there.
yeah.
But scores of 100, 92, 106, 101, 91, 83, 97. Like, I mean, I know this guy, his name's Charlie, and he's anti-potted Nathan Cleary, just with Nicholas Hines. I think that's just uncalled for.
Charlie Fraser.
Nah, Charlie Geldard.
Oh, really?
So, like, yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
No, if you're not selecting Cleary, like, I don't think you're going to be set up for a very good fantasy year.
Yeah, and one last thing to finish us off was our tips. So, got to see Eagles right, and your bloody Broncos, we got them wrong.
Yeah.
But rest for them is the Knights by 12. I think that's too strong. Warriors
Yeah.
at New Zealand, way too strong. Penrith,
Um. Yeah. The Warriors. I reckon they'll get up. Penrith. Yeah. The
Bulldogs to beat the
Bulldogs.
Eels. I just think too much firepower there.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs will come out strong. I reckon they might get up.
Yeah,
Titans.
Titans, that's a pretty 50-50 game. Both teams suck.
Yeah. I mean
And
the Dolphins and the Cowboys. That's 50-50, I reckon.
yeah,
That's
I'd say
very
the
close
Cowboys
game.
just because like it's pretty 50-50 though. But
Yeah.
yeah, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time, a couple of
Yeah.
days' time. Best of luck for this weekend.
Sweet.